Welcome in, friends, to the beginning of March. Hope you enjoyed last week's episode with my man Mark from Co-opable. Plenty of fun and to learn and to hear what's on his mind. So look, here's what's on my mind today, friends. I've been looking at data since, a long time ago, but over the last 90 days, I've noticed a downward trend in sales for a lot of brands that we deal with. And it's not just one or the other. And yes, maybe it's less of an issue for luxury brands, but it seems that maybe things have compressed a little bit. And so what I like to recommend when times get a little harder than potentially they were previous is I like to dig in to the people and to the process and tighten it up. Tighten it up, because I've lived through 9/11. I've lived through the downturn, COVID. We've seen it all as people in the car business. We've seen it all. And so when I start to see a compression in sales lines that go from 1 month at 100 units, the next month to 70, and the month after that to 50, over 90 days, half a unit loss. And I see it in the Midwest, the West, the East. It speaks to a larger issue. It's new car related, I would say. Used cars, still hot market, still tough market. Fuck, we haven't had a solid lease in 5 years. So where the fuck are we getting used cars from anyways? People are holding on to their cars. Service departments now have financing options. Why do we think they have that? Well, because shit's gotten more expensive and people aren't trading out of their cars. Well, what's the easiest way to get people moving? Leases, and more leases. I learned recently from a friend of mine out in New York who says that GM Financial is actually getting out of the leasing business because they're getting crushed by credit unions. Now, I hadn't heard this. I didn't know this. Like credit unions, I'm an old school kid in the car business. Leases were done through manufacturers. That's just how it was done. It's crazy for me to think about other people getting in the business. But what is it that big financial industries don't get that credit unions do? The lease is the biggest benefit for everyone in this process. Everyone. For me, for the dealer, I consider myself a consumer nowadays. Consumers, dealers, OEMs, everybody benefits from the leasing option. Maybe not so much your service drives, maybe not, but they benefit when that car comes back and you prep it for use and then it's sold as used. So down the road a little bit, yes, but it does help. Yet here we are in a compressing market is how I'll say it. Look, it's just math, people. It's just math. Whether people are making more money, that remains to be seen how they run their operation. But when I'm just looking at sales totals and gross from sales totals, it's jarring. And again, it's not just east, west, middle. End to end, baby. We see it. And new car providers kind of sitting on their fucking hands, frankly. A lot of them writing off all the bad EV decisions they made that they're now stuck in. Now they're trying to stick out of, make huge offers, get things moving. It's a whole other unwind, which is why there's probably not a lot of incentive on the hoods of vehicles right now, because they're wrapped up in billions of dollars of write-offs from an EV program that was probably a little bit too ahead of its time. But now what? Now you're in it. Now you don't have a choice. You live with it. But now the downstream of that is lack of incentive, lack of offer. And we're already seeing in a lot of major markets back to that race to the bottom. Shit, I heard California's coming out with some pricing rules come fall that basically whatever your price is online, like, has to be what you're willing to sell it for. Has to be. I mean, it's crazy, some of the shit that's out there. What will people do? If all the prices were the same, what the fuck would make you any different from the next guy or gal? Give that some thought, because that's what you want to deal with right now. Is who are you? What is your value offer? Because that's what's going to matter. Pricing is going to, become what it is. Whether it's a race to the bottom or a stick to the top, it doesn't matter. If it were all equal, Why would people pick you? What would be the point of coming to your dealership to do business? Now, I'll tell you what we did. This is 20 years ago at this point. We came out with speed to deal. In and out of our dealership in 30 minutes or less. Oil changes for life. Everybody thought I was fucking crazy. I don't blame them. Most ideas I have are crazy. Most of them end up being pretty good. But they're crazy when they start them. When they hear them. Never heard of that before. Never saw that before. Never looked at that way before. It's the same way when we approached them about delivering cars to the mountains in 2005, 2006. They thought we were nuts. FedEx paperwork. You're crazy. Put finance on the phone with the customer. Sell over the phone. Can't do that. Sure we can. Watch. We did it. This is no different than that. This is absolutely no different than that. You have to find your value proposition. If it is not price, and yeah, you can do price guarantees and price shields or whatever. Speed to deal. It opened people's eyes in a way you could never imagine 20 years ago. Well, what do you mean? Well, there's a couple of caveats. One, you have to show up exactly on time for your appointment. So if you make a 2 o'clock appointment, you have to be here at 2 o'clock. If you show up at 2:05, there's a chance I can't take you because I got 30 minutes. I'm running everybody. Or there's a chance I move you from 2:05 to 2:30, and then you start the clock at 2:30, and then at 3 o'clock. You didn't show up on time. That's part of it. 2, preparatory paperwork. All had to be done. Fax licenses, fax fucking insurance cards, right? Whatever we could fill out, we got filled out. We were prepped. We were ready. Deal jackets, dialed, the car, up front. Everything was perfect. It had to be. It had to be. If you want to deliver a car front to back in 30 minutes, your shit has to be tight. But people were coming from all over the state. Prices were the same. This was during a $99 fucking legacy lease. Everyone and their mother was buying them. That wasn't the problem. So what were we going to do to be different? 30-minute timer. Just next level shit, dude. 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Now you come to a point where you have to figure out what is your value proposition to today's consumer. Because I think time is what matters most. I really do. So I think that anyone looking to make that dent goes down the road I just mentioned. I think so. I think it's the best idea because, again, pricing guarantees, cool. If you want to just give away the oil changes for life up front, I suppose you could do that. I have a great client who's been doing that ever since I met him. I've known him 15 years, 16 years. Been doing it. So I know it works. That's not what that's about. Most operators don't want to go down that road. So you need to find what sets you apart in today's market. How will you be different? But then on top of that, and I started to show off with your people and your process, you must make sure that your people and your process from the top down are aligned and dialed in on what the objective of every single day is. Every up, every CRM entry, every phone call, everything. In times where they're not as easy as the times before, you have to really dig in to the process. That is where your deals are sitting. That's where everything you've been wondering about, everything you're trying to figure out, where does it come from? How do I get more of it? It's in the CRM. It's in the deals you already have. The majority of dealerships do not have a lead problem. They have a selling problem. They have a follow-up problem. They have a follow-through problem. We see it every single day on our CRM program. Every single day. It's why our CRM program exists, for fuck's sake. So this isn't new. None of this is new. It's just got a different look to it. So go dig in. Go find that next incremental deal. And make the most of March because it's beginning of spring selling. Let's get going. See you next week.